Bonjour, Français 1. Salut, mes étudiants, and welcome to our little screencast today about subject pronouns. Aren't you so excited that we are ready to do grammar? Woohoo! It's my favorite. Alright, here we go. You should have notes out if you've already lost your salmon sheet, which I know you didn't do. But if you did, alright, you can take these on a sheet of paper. You could go Cornell style. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. I want to tell you that this PowerPoint will also be attached to my website. You won't get to hear me, though, which would be pretty sad. Okay, here we go. So first thing we're going to talk about, what is a subject? All right, subject is absolutely 100% necessary when we make a complete sentence. All right, the subject is the person or thing that does the action of the sentence. I got to warn you, you're going to learn English grammar as well as French grammar in this class. Maybe it'll be glamour too. Glamorous. Okay, so let's talk about subjects. Subjects in a sentence can be a noun. Well, they have to be a noun. A person, a place, or a thing. Or sometimes we'll see a pronoun. The pronoun takes the place of a noun. We have so many different kinds of pronouns in English and French, blah, 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 blah. All right, they take the place of a noun. For example, she. So if I don't want to say Caroline, 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 Caroline is here, Caroline is there, Caroline has blonde hair. To vary my speech, I can say she instead. Or they is a pronoun. I could say the students have their notebooks. The students come into class. The students do the warm-up. I could say they. They come into class. They do their warm-up. So those are the different kinds of subjects you will see. They might be nouns or they might be pronouns. Alright, now we have to do our subject pronouns in French. Now it's super important that you understand how this chart is set up. Now it's already set up for you, most of it on your notes, but we are going to go, let's see, we're going to go across first. So there's essentially two columns. Alright, I know you see lots of lines, but don't worry about that. A subject can be singular, meaning there's one thing, or a subject can be plural, meaning there's more than one person doing the action. So you might want to make a note on your chart. Singular, one person, one thing. Plural, more than one. Alright, so that's the two columns that we have going across. Now we have 3 rows going down. We're going to talk about that. The first row is always going to be first person. Think about when we read a story in first person. I walked into the room. I saw the dead body on the floor. I screamed. That's the first person. Okay? Sometimes we talk in the second person. This is when we talk directly to someone else. Get it? To. Second person talking to someone else. Third person we're probably pretty familiar with. Okay? Stories that are told in third person might sound like he walked into the room. He saw the dead body. He screamed. He ran away. Those are all third person. Okay? So that's how we're going to fill out our chart. You've got to understand the way this is set up because it is linked to everything that we do grammar-wise. Really important. Alright, as you take these notes, if you have questions, make sure you come with them in class tomorrow. First person singular, we're going to go. Alright, this is I. Yes, that is an I. Not an L. Alright, I is first person singular in English. Second person singular is you. So if I'm talking to a student in class, do you have your homework? We have a couple different third person options. We have he, we have it, she, or it, or we have one. We're going to talk about that. We also have we. Now, this is first person because if I say we, I'm including myself in it. But it's plural, so it's like John and I. We hang out after school. Okay? Second person, okay, I can talk to one person. Do you have your homework? But I also can say to everybody in the class, hey, do you guys, do you all, do all of you? This is you, plural. But in English, we don't distinguish between the two. We just use you. Now, the plural here, I'm talking about some people over on the, across the room. They're looking at me kind of funny. Say, hey, do you see them over there? They are looking at me. Okay, that's your third person plural. Alright, we are ready to fill in our French subject pronouns. Okay, first up is je. And hopefully this looks familiar to you. We've said je m'appelle, j'aime danser, all sorts of things. So je is I. Now notice we have the apostrophe. Hopefully you remember, or maybe you figured out. We need the apostrophe when the next word starts with a vowel, like in j'aime, I like. Now, how do you ask somebody their name? Comment t'appelles-tu? Tu is our second person singular. Sometimes we're going to use vous, which we're going to talk about later. All right. Do you remember he? Okay. This is il. Check it out. It can also mean it, though. We've used elle. Okay. Now we have this third pronoun, on. On is a wackadoodle kind of pronoun. It can mean all sorts of different things. It can mean one. It can mean we. It can mean they. On is just kind of kooky, which is interesting. All right. Going over to the plural side, I don't think we've used this at all yet. Nous. This is the first person plural. This is how we say we. We've used this in the very formal sense. Vous, comment allez-vous? This is you plural. And they, we have two options. We have il and we have elle. Now, il, elle. We don't pronounce them any differently, but in the plural form they will have an S on it. So far so good. Now you can take a look at the back of your note sheet, but for now, all right, we are going to stop tomorrow, and the rest of next week we're going to add to our notes. But this is the basis that I wanted you to start with, and we will go from there. Excellent. À demain, mes amis.